Nice. Paige, what are we doing? Cool. The distributive property is the thing in math that happens when a number is outside of parentheses and there's no sign. Notice how the 5 is squished next to parentheses. There's no addition or subtraction right here. It's just squeezed next to the parentheses. That is called the distributive property. Anyone remember what happens to the 5? Mason. Draw a line connecting 5 with b and 5 with -6. Both things, both terms are multiplied by that number, 5. Every time you have a number squished outside of parentheses, you need to multiply it by both terms. 5 times b is 5b. Okay, then board the paper. 5 times -6. Notice how that negative looks a lot like a minus sign. They're the same thing, and minus signs make numbers bad guys. So 5 times -6 would be -30. Distributive property is done. There are no more parentheses. You multiplied the 5 by both terms. You now have a problem that looks strangely familiar to maybe before break. It's 2 steps. There's a number that's squished next to the b. That's its best friend. There's a number that's a little farther away from it. That's the friend that's not as close. Let's solve it from here. What would I do first, Max? Yeah. And tell me more. What do I do with the 30? You said it's 30 on the 30, which is the right path, but I want to be precise. So we're going to do something that's the opposite of minus a 30. What do I want to show right here, Max? What's the opposite of minusing? It's a plus 30. And whatever you do to one side, Jackson, you do to the other side. So do the exact same thing. Kate, what happens on the left side? What's the only thing left over? And that's what we wanted to happen. We want to kick these friends out of the house until b is by itself. Let's check -35 plus 30 and do some good guys and bad guys. I'm thinking about it. There's a bad guy. It's kind of big. There's a good guy. He's also fairly big. Who wins this round, Chad? The bad guys. Bad guys are winning by how many? -5. So 5b is on the left and -5 is on the right. We're not done. There's one more step. Daniel, lead me to get b by itself. What would I do to both sides? 5 is next to a b, which means 5 times b. What's the opposite of multiplying, Daniel? It's dividing. So what do I do to both sides? Daniel, keep going. Divide by what number? Yeah. Okay, 5b divided by 5 is just b. 5 divided by 5 is 1, and we know 1 divided by 1 is just a 1b. You can rewrite it as b. -5 divided by 5 is what? Avery? Good. Once you get a b by itself, all friends have been kicked out, mom is happy, you're ready to do homework. That's your answer, and the answer is -1. We can always, here's our takeaway from today, simplify. We can always simplify an equation before you solve it. Whenever you have distributing, you need to think simplify. Simplifying an equation could include distributing, which is what we did today. And tomorrow, we're going to look at another way to simplify called combine like terms. Today our focus is just the first one. Example 2. Reese, I'm looking at this thing and there's parentheses. What does that tell me to do? And what would I multiply by, Reese? Good. Let's be precise about it and include those signs. It might change something. They're both negative, so let's multiply negative 10 times negative 5. It did it again. It's like every 20 minutes, so literally it probably said that hundreds of times. 20, there's 3 20s in an hour, 3 10s, 24, 68. It did that 100. 36 times.
Just today?
No, in the past 2 days.
36.
Yeah. Alright, we're back. Track the board. And who can give me that answer? I want a 10 and a 5, both negative, but they're multiplied together. Logan, what'd you get? Wait, let him think. Let him get an answer out. If you have a different answer, give me a silent. Good. You changed your mind from a negative 50 to a 50. Why, Logan?
Well, because the two there's 2 negative numbers and they would combine to make a positive.
Same signs are good, different signs are bad. Those are the same. It should be a good guy. That's great. So negative 10 times an x just is negative 10x. We're ready to roll through the next 2 steps. Make sure you make a nice solid line. And what do I have to move first? Page. Yeah, because the 50 is farther away than the 10, I want to move that friend first. Colton, how would I move the 50? Good. 0 minus 50 would be what number? Hadley. Good. And what's left on the left side, Chad?
On the left side, it's negative 10x.
Good. Last step. Yeah, keep going.
You would divide negative 10x by negative 10, and then you would do the same to the right.
And what's my answer, Chad?
You would come to x equals 5.
Good. Here's our big takeaway for the day. Inverse operations must be done on both sides, or the second big takeaway. To maintain equivalency, you need to do the same exact thing on both sides so that you have equivalent expressions. You have this gold problem. I don't think it's on that page. It might be on the last page. Good. Get a piece of lined paper.
My pencil lost.
10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your paper should look something like mine. You're going to organize it neatly with 1, 2, 3, and 4 labeled, and you're going to write the problem on this paper so you can do all the work underneath it. Number 1 is 5 equals 8n plus 5. Does this one have distributive property in it? There's no parentheses, so I don't have to distribute. This is just like a problem from before break. On both sides, I'm subtracting 5 first, drawing a line to separate my step. Cross out the 5s, divide by 8. That leaves n by itself. Draw another line, that's the third step. 0 divided by 8 would be Colton? 0. That's the work I should see on your page. You can draw a line to do number 2 next to it or underneath it so it's nice and neat. Once you do 1 and 2, I'm okay with you skipping around a bit if you want to just skip past 3 and get to a nice distributive problem that we did today.